Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Cannabusiness Live. My name is Matthew Roman, and I'm alongside Craig Aronoff, who's to my left. Today is episode 5. We're going to be discussing raising capital for your cannabis business. Once again, Cannabusiness Live comes to you every Wednesday and Friday, so please like it, love it, share it. We encourage your participation. We want to answer your questions, so as it's going on, please feel free to comment, and we can get those questions answered for you.
Yeah, please, and even if it's not during the live segment, don't be afraid to send us, questions on the feed after the fact, and we'll be happy to answer those, or find us at cannabislegalgroup.com. Also be reminded that we have an upcoming seminar on June 9th. It's an 8-hour seminar all day. There'll be lots of details on how to obtain a license under the new Medical Marijuana Facility Licensing Act. Got a great lineup, and we look forward to introducing that to you.
So today, let's start with a little bit about why people may need to raise capital for their businesses. Obviously, to start a business, you're going to need some form of money. It's going to not be cheap, especially in the cannabis business. These are going to be, on the most part, multi-million-dollar investments. So one of the biggest questions that we get here at Cannabis Legal Group is, where do I get this money? How do I get this money? And what's the process to get this money? So why don't I start with a little bit about the process? So what's going to happen is you're going to have this business plan, which we mentioned last episode. And from that business plan, you're going to create what's called a pitch deck. And you're going to take this pitch deck and basically pitch it to investors. So you may go to several groups. They could be family friends. They could be venture capital organizations, angel investor organizations. And you're basically going to do a pitch. Basically what you're going to do then is you're going to outline the business plan. You may introduce the team. You may show them how you're going to get from point A to point Z and show the success of the business and basically try and entice their investment. Once they're interested in investing in the business, you're going to enter some type of agreement, usually a non-disclosure agreement or exclusive negotiating rights agreement. What does that do? A non-disclosure agreement basically says that whatever I'm telling you is going to be in confidence. And some people actually do this before they pitch. Most people do it after because a lot of investors won't sign an NDA until they at least get a sense of what you're actually pitching. The exclusive negotiating rights agreement is basically an agreement that basically makes an engagement. Basically says that as long as nothing messes up, I'm going to get married to you and you're going to get married to me. Whether it's the business people saying we're going to take money from them and the money people saying we're going to give the money to the business people. It's usually a certain amount of period, and it's kind of like an NDA or non-disclosure agreement on steroids. The same secrecy or confidentiality applies, but it's really moving towards a partnership. And usually that's for a certain period of time. And once that time has, during that time, you're going to basically move towards a partnership. And once that time expires, if you hadn't had a partnership, you're both basically released from the contract, or conversely, you form the partnership and you continue on with the business.
Yeah, and that brings us to how the partnership will operate. And so, as we previously talked about in our last segment on business planning and preparing the business plan, in essence, as Matt was just describing, it's taking that paper document and bringing it to life in the form of that pitch deck and really describing it and letting the investors be in front of you and seeing your passion for your business. But the structure of the company is also something that should be included in the conversation because, are they going to be just lending money to the enterprise? Are they going to be seeking equity positions in the enterprise? Are we looking at it as a corporation with shares of stock versus an LLC with membership interest? And so all of these different varying factors are going to break down. And as you're sitting with your investors, it's important to both have the knowledge of having the direction you want to have in your company, but also enough flexibility so that if they want you to make some changes as to how that equity share breaks out in order to obtain their money, that you have that room in order to do that. Keeping in mind, of course, that the state of Michigan, we know, is going to require a background check on everybody who has 1% interest or more. And so how this capital is raised and what structure it comes into may be impacted by who you're actually obtaining, what their desires in the business are.
And I think one of the biggest things that we see, at least from our clients, is really setting realistic expectations. People come in and say they have the greatest idea in the world, and they may, but they want to give away 1% of the business for $10 million. Right. And the money people conversely want to say, well, you're going to do the work, but I want 99% because without my $10 million, you can't basically proceed. So it's really important that to basically, in the raising capital process, to ascertain how much you need and what you're willing to get up for that. And the easiest way to do that is usually doing some type of valuation on the business, some type of pro forma where they say, okay, in 3 or 4 years, we think the business is going to be worth X. Because it's going to be worth X, your investment as of today is worth 35% to us. And this is all going to be negotiated between the parties. So, some parties may agree with that and say, your financial projections are, right. Or they may disagree with you and say, you know what, maybe you think it's only worth 35%, but I know you need the gas to get going, so I want 55%. And it's really, really important to get this stuff ironed out beforehand, especially at the beginning, because you don't want to start getting into these agreements and then all of a sudden there's not a meeting of the minds and you're back to square zero. And that can happen pretty quickly, especially because at the end of the day, when you're talking money and a lot of money, it can get very emotional.
Oh yeah, no doubt, and certainly as you're going through that process and trying to figure out where to plug it in, it's important that you're demonstrating how you're planning on using their funds. There could be some opportunities maybe to get loans to lease equipment, for instance, and set up a relationship that way that raises capital on some of your expenditures up front. Or in the alternative, maybe have somebody literally buy into the business, as Matt was describing, where they get a percentage share based upon whatever rate of return that's offered on them. And it is important that these conversations are done obviously early in the process, early in the conversation. Make sure as you're starting that conversation with the investor that they're not sitting there thinking that they're lending you money as a loan and you're sitting there thinking that they're going to become equity partners or vice versa, because that kind of lack of information to set that meeting could actually be something that just derails it right from the beginning. So make sure as you're going through that the NRA phase and the NDA phase that it's true to the word of what you're looking for, that when you get that meeting, you're asking for what they're expecting to be asked for, and they're offering what you're expecting to receive.
And I think, too, it's important in regards to initial ask for money is also staging the ask, meaning like this. So say you need $10 million total. Maybe you start out by asking for $500,000 and you start setting benchmarks and stuff like that. And this will make a lot of the investors more comfortable rather than just giving you $10 million and letting you run with it or your entity run with it. They want to see results. So maybe, $500,000 for the first 3 months, we hit this target, we, basically get another $1 million and so on and so on. Additionally, as Craig kind of pointed out too, it's what you're going to do with the money. Investors don't want to be paying for your luxury car lease. So it's really important to be realistic too and realize, when you're planning out what do you need to live through this process. Entrepreneurship can be a very, very tough road, but there's definitely, rewards at the end. But it's really important to keep that in mind when approaching these investors. Additionally, many of you may be sitting there saying, I don't have a wealthy family member. I don't have a wealthy friend that I can go to. One of the biggest resources that I've seen is you can go to angel investor groups. And usually what this is it's a group of entrepreneurs or former entrepreneurs who've had some level of success that basically kind of take these calculated risks in brand new businesses. And you can actually just Google, probably in your area, just Google the city, the township, the state, and find a list of angel investor groups and actually go and pitch them. And that could be a great place to start when trying to find some serious money for your cannabis business.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt, and certainly there's a lot of new funds coming into Michigan, knowing that this commercialization of medical marijuana is happening, and they are very interested in getting into the industry. Even if they've already been operating in other states, they're going to need to set up here and become able to do business in Michigan, and of course partner with companies that are operating in Michigan. And so there's exciting times for a lot of investors that have already either both created a model that has been working and it's a wheel that works and will keep going, or new people coming into the industry, people that have excess money that are looking for new ways to invest and are looking for that opportunity and the right operator to come in and show them a business plan that they can believe in and get behind.
And just today's a lot of information being thrown at you, and I just want you to know that and Greg can agree that here we can help you throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
So whatever documents you need, whatever negotiation, representation you need, we can help you through this often difficult and emotional process to basically get you going on your cannabis business.
Yeah, our approach has been, of course, to meet with our clients, and we do a 1-hour consultation for $500, and you can sit with 2 lawyers that will sit down and hear what your plans and strategy are, and let you leave with a real strategy to move forward. And thereafter, what we do is we help our clients, of course, go through the full licensing project, and this is just one component of it, the capital raise. But one of the questions we do ask early on with every client of ours is, do you have the money to succeed? do you have the proper understanding as to what's going to be necessary to not only get started, but to operate until you're at a point where you're driving in revenue? Because we know there's going to be lag times from the time the state says, yes, we're willing to grant a license, to the point in time where there's going to be a saleable item coming out of your growth center or coming out of your processing center or on your shelf at a dispensary.
And I think even too, just to elaborate, I know you mentioned the hour consultation, but all this stuff's going to be covered at our seminar. So for about roughly the same price, you can get a full day where all this information is going to be covered. You can meet us. You can purchase a VIP ticket for the day before as well if you want to talk even more in depth for a little bit extra money. But please, we're going to be covering all this at the seminar. So if you'd like, please come down, hear us, talk with us, and we can definitely get you on the right track in regards to this.
Find the information on our website at cannabislegalgroup.com. Look for us every Wednesday and Friday here at Cannabusiness Live on our Facebook page at Cannabis Legal Group. And we'll look forward to seeing you the next time.
And also, too, just want to let you know that this Friday we're going to be talking about taxes and how taxes affect your cannabis business. So please tune in. That'll be this Friday. So from Marijuana Matt
And Cannabis Craig.
you guys have a good day.
Thank you.